I feel like season 2 is going to come with like some episodes that need to start with trigger warning.
This is one of them. This is actually one of them. And the trigger is not like we're talking about something really tragic. It's that
Yeah.
you might want to break up with your partner after this.
Welcome to the Bear Collective podcast with Jazzy and Larissa.
Here to break you all up. No. No. Hopefully just some very juicy reflection and accountability will come from this episode.
I think it will stir some discomfort inside you, and internally you might get some clarity from it. So it's either going to be a place that you're ready to hear and it's everything that you need and you're going to love it, or it's going to cause a lot of internal chaos for you and questions and discomfort and have you thinking about things.
Because we're looking at how so many of us,
Women.
me previously included, particularly women.
Well, we're a women-focused podcast.
100%.
We're speaking directly to women.
We date the potential of somebody instead of who they are really showing up as, who they are.
I just want to say right now, really listen to that because Jazzy was real close to the microphone so y'all can hear.
Dating their
potential. Oh.
And so, like, you know, I even go back where I have met somebody and started dating them, and my head would have jumped straight into, oh my gosh, he does this for a living. Like, he's going to be successful. He's studying this. He does this with his free time. Like, basically painting all of those tick box ideals and creating this beautiful image of who he could be.
Hello, fantasy.
It's a complete fantasy. It's those rose-colored glasses.
Correct.
Seeing what I want to see and not what's actually right in front of me. And this is where so many of us go wrong. And I think it's like a very natural thing to do.
Oh, yes. It's a stage of like your development and evolution.
Yes.
But if you can clock it, you won't have as many heartbreaks.
Yeah, so we're going to help you clock it. We're going to help you clock it today.
Yeah, because exactly what Jazzy was describing. I mean, a hand up, we've all been there and potentially you're in it right now. When you actually reflect that you are or have created a fantasy and run away with that based off of, you know, depending on how early you are in a relationship, and even if you're 2-3 years in, you might still be holding on to those early days, that honeymoon phase.
Yes.
Where you are trying to present and they are trying to present their best self to you. They're trying to project a certain image of who they are and their ideal life and who they think they are at the present time, but who they also think they're going to be.
And who they think you want them to be as well.
Yes. Correct, right? Because nobody wants rejection. So you're going to sell yourself in the best way possible.
Of course.
You're going to put your best foot forward.
Of course.
The thing with women that we have to know about our brain that is different to men is that we will jump into this fantasy. We will emotionally hold on to that and attach to that because in some way it is either provided a sense of security, safety, or even power that we are attracted to as women.
How many of you are squirming in your seats right now?
Yeah.
And it's so true. And
it's not real.
It's not real. And this is the part that it can take a very long time to see. So hopefully this really shortens time. And one way you're going to see that you are absolutely doing this is you are trying to change your partner. And you have been trying to change your partner for some time. And they aren't changing.
You've made them your pet project.
Yes. Yeah, a fixer-upper.
Correct. But also, if you yourself as a female are known to be someone who is a helper or somebody who is the go-to advice giver for the friends or the safe space, you're likely this person who sees someone's potential and wants to help them get there. You want to fix them, help them, make them into this thing that they say that they want to be, this fantasy of who they've projected, and you want to help them live that out because that feels good for you.
Even women in healthcare, like nurturing type roles, psychologists, coaches. Doctors, even, like, we tend to go for this type of role and dynamic within a relationship where we want to care and rescue and fix. And so to me, like, very much we're the type of people who potentially hold these ideals. Susceptible. Yeah, absolutely.
More susceptible to falling into that. Yeah. And what that actually is distraction from looking at yourself.
Brutal. And of course, because when I talk about that dating experience for me, I wasn't doing the work on myself at that time. And there was a lot within me that needed healing. And one of the beautiful things about relationships is the things that trigger us, that we essentially do end up trying to fix in the other person. It's actually a beautiful signal to do a U-turn, look within yourself and realize there's something about this within me that is getting triggered, and that's what I need to heal.
Relationships become a big mirror reflection. Huge. They are your biggest healer and your biggest trigger. But it also shouldn't be so extreme on both ends, so polarizing, because it takes both people to do the work, not you purely focusing on them as a project and working on them. If you're doing that, this is your call. That it's not the right relationship. You need to take a step back.
Yes.
Because
reevaluate.
You cannot control, fix, heal, change anybody who doesn't want that for themselves. Now, even if they're verbally saying, like, you've had a discussion with your partner and they've agreed, out of some fight or disagreement or situation that's happened that they want to change, you have to actually give the person space to be able to make the change themselves. They have to go through the unlearning of the old behavior or pattern or way of being to relearn the new way. And that takes time.
And now when you say space,
correct,
because I can hear questions,
Go for it.
Does that mean a break, or does that mean, like, because to me, I wouldn't want to take a break from a partner. I'd want to still be in the relationship, but give them space.
Correct.
So I just want to iterate here.
Correct.
Yes.
This
is not take a break.
It's not you being on them with every single day being, you said you were going to make this change and you haven't made it and it's been 24 hours. It's been another 24 hours.
Yes.
You need to give the person space, but also not years.
Yeah, give them an exact time limit, in fact.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Or I speak to this from
internally.
What's your boundary? How long are you as the person waiting for this?
Correct.
Willing to wait.
Good.
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily communicate that to them.
Oh, interesting.
Because you need them to want to change for themselves, to know that it's true and authentic to them. However, you need to have an internal clock.
Yes.
That is realistic. That's not like,
TikTok. I would absolutely
you need to have a point where you're willing to walk away because you realize that it's never going to change. And that's not healthy for you.
Yes.
Or the ideal for you to sit with that person living in that behavior that triggers you or that is not aligned for you or not growing for you or not moving in a good direction for the next 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah. So I would give them a very indirect boundary of, I'm not going to wait forever. And I say that because I know so many women me included, who have sat there and wait and give the space. And part of this is they haven't got the inner boundary for themselves of how long they're really willing to wait. But also part of this is they have that and they're scared to walk away when that time comes. But also, like, I hear so many stories of men who say they're going to do this and take the space, but then never come back. And so that's where, yes, as the woman on the other end of that, you know it's your time to go. But also I think it's good to almost hold that other person accountable, that male accountable, and have them know that you won't wait around forever.
Yeah.
Just so they know that there is an expiry date or an end date to this processing.
Yeah. I think it's just in how that's delivered. Because don't get me wrong, I believe first and foremost, you must have an internal clock.
Yes.
And you must come to an internal acceptance that if you're having this kind of conversation, it's because there is something that is not connecting or not gelling, or that's, you know, someone's triggering your deep inner wound and not respecting you or whatnot, or not living, their actions and their words aren't matching, right? So if they've vocally said that they're going to make a change and then their behavior is not showing the efforts towards that change, you need to come to an internal acceptance to go, okay, if this doesn't change, this is a deal breaker for me. This is something that's not going to work for me.
Yes.
You need to start coming to an acceptance and an openness of, like, I'm open to them changing and that's great and that's what I desire. But if it's not, I need to be willing and okay to walk away.
Yes.
Now, I've had conversations where I've said in a relationship, you know, having a conversation around a particular topic, if this doesn't change, I won't be around.
Yes. Yes. That's a lovely way of wording it.
Yeah, because, and it's just a way of being clear, short, but without the timeline or time frame, because I need to see them have their natural process for something, because everybody does have a different process, but you should be able to see, you know, incremental change.
Yes.
Not that, you know, I think we sometimes have an unrealistic expectation it's just going to change overnight, but, you know,
yes, definitely.
That just doesn't happen.
No. And I want to speak to, like, the women who want the change, ask for the change, and stay even when those incremental steps aren't being made. And that's really your sign that you are holding on to an ideal, or you're actually getting something out of trying to fix.
It's stopping you from looking at yourself.
Yeah.
It's stopping you from looking at yourself, your wounds, the things that you need to heal, the things that were emotionally, your needs that were emotionally unmet or that are lacking, that you're not able to provide yourself, that you're looking externally to somebody else to give you. And by making them a project that's fulfilling your desire for control and your desire, again, to stay in fantasy rather than reality.
That's such a big word, control. And what's interesting to me is you're trying to control something that and you can never have control over it. It's almost like the person is an illusion and you have this illusion of power and control within a relationship.
Correct. Power and control are a huge dynamic in relationships. But can I just get everyone to pause for a second and think about when you were living at home and you got to that point where you were like, I need to move out, right? It's because you felt so underneath your parents, like
disempowered,
rules, like you had to live in their house by their rules, and there are some rules that you just wanted to break, and you needed your freedom to do that and to have your own agency over yourself at a certain point. And I think that word's really important, having your own agency over yourself, because if you go into a relationship where you're trying to control someone, you're not giving them agency over themselves, and also you are, again, just not reflecting on yourself internally to see what needs to shift. It's not, you're not actually living authentic to yourself when you're trying to control or make somebody else a project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just kind of come in for me about how much energy you can actually put into that.
How draining.
How draining. If you're out there and you're fatigued a lot during your relationship, this might be why. This might be why you're literally holding a torch for someone that does not exist, which is just wild to think about.
Yeah. No one likes to be controlled.
No.
And by you making your partner a project as well, you are, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like you're parenting them. You've kind of stepped into that mothering, parental control type of element. You're not seeing them as like an equal partner. There's the polarity in your relationship is missing. You've gone into a parental, which is also
such a yucky dynamic.
Can I just say it's sexually unappealing?
Yes.
Like your sex life must not be there, because nobody wants to, feel like they're being parented and then all of a sudden
get intimate with one another. Yes.
Yeah. Not desirable when you're living in your authentic self and your authentic expression. That is what is the polarity that you need to live in, that's attractive, that creates a healthy dynamic.
It would create such emotional intimacy as well as like physical intimacy.
Yeah.
Just to authentically, be in love with someone for all of them and who they are showing up with in the current moment.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. Yeah.
Also, imagine just for a minute, close your eyes as long as you're not driving or walking.
If it's safe.
If it's safe to close your eyes, close your eyes. But imagine feeling your partner looking at you right now as a project to fix.
Oh.
And their attention is all directed on you. Their eyes are on you. They're just looking at you like, what do I need to fix? What do I need to do? How do I need to change this person?
That feels so icky. Like, that's the real ick.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
So if you flip the script and you turn it back to you, how does it feel for you?
Yeah, that's awful. And it also really shows you parts of yourself that you maybe are trying to deny, are trying to suppress.
Can I ask you, because you just sat there and did that and internalized that and had that visceral reaction.
Yes.
When you imagine your partner looking at you like something to fix and to work on, what happened to your identity? Did you feel like it was your own?
No.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like me at all. The me I was seeing through his eyes did not feel like me. It felt like I would say an abused part of me. And my husband does not do this. I just want to put out there. He talks me up. Like he holds me up. Retriever. He supports me. He's literally incredible.
He's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And even when I'm a complete ass. So I don't experience this. And it's more that if he was to do that.
Yeah.
It's
an imaginary scenario.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I do want to put that out there. Oh my gosh. Clarify that. Yes. But yeah, I would hate to be on the receiving end of this.
Correct.
I would hate it with all of my being. It is soul crushing.
Yeah. And I had that in a relationship, can I just say? Like I had a conversation where my partner was wanting me to do something their way in a very specific way. And that felt like I had that visceral reaction that you just had, where it was like, that's not me. And I felt like I didn't have my own identity in that, like my own soul was not being expressed. And that feels suffocating.
Yes.
So
crippling. crippling.
Yeah. So isn't it interesting how like when you literally flip the mirror on yourself and imagine the situation in reverse where you're trying to really get someone living in their potential, and it's really more of you can see, you can feel, you can hear it even through our conversation. Guys, you've got to be experiencing this right now. If we are, we know you've got to be as well. It does not feel great.
No, like I can't come back from this right now. I'm like, and now I'm starting to think about the people I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, that try to like change their partners every day and hound them and shame them and gaslight them to do so.
That's not so that's not healthy, and I think we need to do a part 2 on like what a healthy version looks like. Because we want to stick just to this, because what you just did was within that question, we turn the mirror on ourselves. So what that does, that ick that you're feeling, or that where's my identity if my partner were to make me their project to try and get me into my potential. Like, firstly, if you are thinking that, oh, that's such a good thing that they're trying to bring out my best potential, well, they'd be already doing that and your relationship would be healthy and you don't need to listen to this conversation.
Yes.
If it was in a healthy way.
Yes.
So if you think that they're trying to bring out your potential by making that you have that reaction.
They don't do it by shaming.
Correct.
This is the difference. They do it by uplifting. They do not do it by shaming. They don't say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. You're bad, you're this, you're that. They actually support you in everything that they do.
They give you the space to evolve. You have healthy conversations that are not arguments, putting each other down, nitpicking. There is a safe space set up to have the conversation and making sure both people are ready to have that conversation. And there is an acknowledgement, and also people from a healthy space are not weaponizing these things that someone knows that they want to change within themselves. They're not weaponizing it against the other when they don't do it, or shaming them when they don't do it. They're giving them the space to evolve through it. Yeah. So the question becomes, if you can see and identify that you are somebody who is trying to live in a relationship where you're just trying to live in the potential of that person and that fantasy, and it's not your actual reality, I just want you to sit with like the question of, if you were to accept your partner right now exactly as they are right now, right here today, and nothing changed, what emotions would come up for you?
Do you love that life?
Because if nothing changed right now, could you accept and love that person for the next 5-10 years? And again, like a point that you brought about, the energy, the emotion that you're holding with that response, is it loving, or is there a bit of ick? Is there a bit of frustration? Is there a bit of resentment? Like, are you going to sit and hold the energy of constantly being triggered for the next 5 to 10 years, 20 years, 30 years?
Huge. Let's leave them with that one. And let's come back and do the flip side of this in our next episode around the healthy ways, like some things we can do to, healthily work with relationships and not hold this ideal.
Yeah. This potential.
Yes.
Let's continue the potential conversation.
Yeah, let's not fall in love with potential. Let's fall in love with authenticity. Yeah. So thank you for listening, watching, and subscribing. Make sure you tune into part 2 of this next week.
Bye for now.